Hello, fellow travelers. This is Veronica from Human Design Journey with a series about the channels. And here we're at the collective circuit with the 731, the Alpha, a design of leadership for good or bad. So, this is such an interesting channel. It is about the collective leadership, which is actually not personal, it's impersonal. And here we have a leader who kind of it's the socio-democratic um, system because it's about being elected. Look, this is a projected channel, so it's not connected to any motor and there is no energy. So you're here to share as a collective channel, keyword sharing. You're here to share your leadership for good or bad. And yet, unless the collective supports you, this nothing will really happen, and it will be just and unless you're invited and recognized before that as a leader and democratically elected. In the 31st gate we can see the different ways of leadership: the authoritarian leader, the administrator, and etc. So this is the channel of leadership based in logic and sharing. And yet, um, it is a vocal channel with the voice I lead because. So they want to convince you. So it's about the leadership. It's not so much authoritarian unless it's the first line, but yet we're talking in general about leadership. There is more, it's more about influence. The 31st gate is influence. You have to convince them with logic to predict the pattern coming out of our prediction of the models, which will take us to a safer future. This is what the logical circuit tells us, looking for logical patterns and models, which will we experiment with, we try, and we see whether it works, and that's pretty logical. So if we convince people, then they give us the energy, and there is a much better chance of success because then it's more likely to be leading the right people in the right circumstances. So waiting to be recognized and invited, sharing in the meantime your influence is what you can do. And to get better and understand better processes and how things work. And although like it can be that as an alpha, because after all, this is a channel of the alpha. Actually, my daughter has this channel, and it's so funny. Since she was very young, since she could walk, I could say she wanted always to be in front and in front of us. And it could be dangerous a little bit, in the big city where there are cars. So I had to teach her to always stop and wait for us, even when she's first. Mm, but yeah, this channel actually also Adolf Hitler has this channel. So really it's leadership for good or bad. But you have to inspire the pack to follow you. And if you don't, then the collective understanding, you didn't convince them with their logic, and then you don't have energy to or nobody to lead. This is very different in which the way the tribe in its politics and within individuality where it's all about myself. Here we have to convince the collective. Basically, what here we have to understand, it's about sharing the patterns. And when you think of society, we have the same needs, we have the same context, the same background, the pattern itself in which we live. We need house, we need to eat, we need shelter. Those basic needs are the same, so we share the same pattern. And we can only lead if we have the same pattern. And it's all about the same pattern. That's where the sharing comes from. That's why those people cannot stop but share their influence with you. And because it's an alpha, it is rare that another alpha can live for a long time under another alpha. They better split and they find their own collective to lead, to be appointed to, and to lead. It's a little bit here I'm going to share with you, and I will even listen to your leadership and your pattern, but then we have to go my way. Like, it's because I can lead. Or if we look at the other channels from this circuit, or only I can judge. We have the same pattern, but only I can judge. We have the same pattern, but only I have the talent. Maybe we have the same pattern, but only I can organize. And yeah, so it is really leadership for good or for bad. So the leadership is based on tested and established patterns that can be followed with certainty. And the 31st gate is the collective leader, and its voice carries the quality of influence, while the 7th gate provides the logical role needed to lead and guide society. It's kind of like the power behind the throne. And we have the authoritarian, the general, the administrator, as I mentioned, with the different lines of the 31st gate. Here we have familiarity with people of the global community somehow, and grasping the patterns, understanding the trends, and being in touch with what the people need, in order so that they recognize you, that you can lead them towards establishing those patterns and models which will lead them to the safe future, so that their needs are being met. Then most certainly you can be invited or elected by the majority to lead. And basically the length of your power will be directly dependent on your electorates, whether they're happy with your performance or not. So collective leadership is empowered by majority rule, which differs from autocracy of the tribe, the queen and the king. And it differs also from the personal example that we have in the individual circuitry. It's influence more than autocratic leadership or tyranny. That's something we can more find in the 4521. The tribal leader, the king, the queen, the hunter. While here it's more democratic, trying to foresee the future, and being more successful when they wait to be recognized and invited by those who share the same collective context and are part of the same established pattern. Logic's answers are rarely universally correct or long-lasting. At any moment, the pattern could be challenged to become weak or break down. it's all part of perfecting the process, which keeps humanity moving toward an ever more secure future. And yet, it's collective. So they're afraid of mutation and transformation, and there it's more stagnancy here. It's more conservatism. So this is the alpha, the energy of collective leadership for the future, looking for logical patterns. The army, the role of the self in interaction and influence leadership, understanding the process and a projected channel, so needs to be recognized and invited. That's what this channel teaches us, that leadership, true leadership, it's depending on who you're leading. That's the quality of your leadership, because it's shared. So who do you share it with, so that you get the energy for the leadership to happen or not? This is Veronica from Human Design Journey. And if you liked what you heard, I would like to see it. Would you like to like and subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment if you have that channel, or you know somebody, or you just want to share your thoughts about leadership in general? Sharing is the collective super keyword. So please do that if it resonates with you and there is something to say, of course. If you like a reading or personalized guidance, and if you resonate with me, then I'm your person, and I'll be very glad to work with you and support you on your journey with human design and being your most authentic version, your best version. And yeah, leadership is actually first being a leader of yourself. And that's what human design is all about. I'll be back with more. See you soon. Bye for now.